You are stunning, beautiful.
Our amazing Rotary International leader, Jennifer Jones, and your beloved spouse, Nick. You are most welcome to District 9213 in particular, and Uganda in general. And on behalf of all Rotarians in Uganda and in the district, we would like to first of all congratulate you upon breaking the glass ceiling up there, being the very first lady president of Rotary International is something to be celebrated in Uganda. We hereby welcome you and wish you an amazing and eventful stay in Uganda. You will be able to witness and partake of our traditional courtesies and hospitality, and the rest of your stay in this country is going to be a memorable one. In the interest of time, I want to once again, on behalf of the Rotarians of District 9213 and Uganda in general, wish you an eventful stay, and we appreciate the fact that you considered us worthy to be part of the Imagine Impact Tour, and we are going to reciprocate in equal measure in terms of impact of the experience that you are going to have in this country. Once again, you're most welcome and enjoy your stay.
We are very excited to see you here, and also allow us to appreciate the coming in and the support and courtesies extended to us from your husband, who has been able to come with you and look at what happens in this other part of the world. On behalf of the Rotarians in District 9214, which comprises a portion of Uganda and the whole of Tanzania, we are happy to receive you. We prepared for you. You enjoy your stay. You meet very many of us, and we know that by the time you go back, you will leave us more energized. Thank you for coming, and for these other friends of ours who have come to receive you, we also want to thank you so much for braving the early morning and the nights and the evenings and the preparations. You are welcome, and we wish you a nice stay in this country.
It is a true honor to arrive in your country and in this district, I know, which comprises more than one country, and to be able to spend the next several days learning of the incredible impact that is going on, because our people of action are doing incredible work. I do want to point out there are many protocols that can be observed in this room, but one is that my dear colleague, Yuka Babaloa, our past Rotary International Vice President, a treat to see you here this morning, sir, and thank you for making the trip to spend time with us. We are in country because we are on what we're calling the Imagine Impact Tour, and what that means is that we're looking to showcase the best and the brightest of projects around the world. Our organization has 7 areas of focus, and while we're here, we're going to be focusing attention on peace and conflict prevention and our Makariri Peace Center located here. We are traveling to 8 different locations that represent our 7 areas of focus, plus our largest corporate international project, the eradication of polio. And that was our first impact stop just a couple of weeks ago in Pakistan, where we were able to talk with senior leaders, government officials, health ministers about the status of polio. We know, and you know all too well, the great strides that have been made in this continent. 2 years ago this month, being able to declare the continent wild polio virus free. We know that we've seen cases now in Malawi and Mozambique, but we know where their origins come from, and it's not an outbreak per se. They have traveled from countries where they have been endemic. So we had an opportunity to be able to see firsthand the national immunization days that are taking place right now as we speak in Pakistan, and the incredible work that our colleagues and our fellow Rotarians, Rotary family members are all doing in that area. Our second leg of the tour was to Zambia, and that was the first country we were able to arrive in here on the continent, and it's to showcase the program of scale which was launched to eliminate malaria by 90% from the country of Zambia. And then, and only then, are we able to take that and start to replicate that in other countries where we know, in particular, in Zambia, for children under the age of 5, it is the #1 killer of those children, and especially difficult for pregnant women as well. Now we're here on the next leg of this impact journey, and we couldn't be more delighted to be able to be here to celebrate the great activities that our Rotary family members are doing. And when I say that, I mean our Rotarians, our Rotaractors, our Interactors, our partners that are here ensuring that we are able to make a notable and lasting change in our communities, in our world, and in ourselves. And so I would be delighted to open the floor to any questions, and perhaps let me just make a general statement about our organization as a level setter for our media friends who are here, and then we can open up to questions. Our organization is comprised of 1.4 million men and women united under the motto of service above self. We are community leaders, we are change makers, we are people committed to creating lasting change in our communities. We are the leaders of our communities. We are people of purpose, we are people of influence, we are people of excellence, and most importantly, we are people of action. When we see a need, we identify what it is, and we harness our resources, our collective talents to make sure that we're able to make change, incredible change in our globe. And so being able to be here to celebrate with all of you, to recognize these incredible people I've just spoken of, is truly a treat for Nick and I. We are just inordinately pleased to be able to be here and to celebrate over the next week all of the great activities. So perhaps I can open up the floor and see any questions that are here.
Two questions from me. The first one would be, what has been your experience in the last few weeks, months of your visit around the world? And the second one would be, why Uganda? Why is Uganda part of your visiting area, and what are your expectations during your visit?
My impressions, first to your first question, my impressions since starting the presidency on July 1, it's been quite exciting and quite invigorating for us. There's been a lot of planning over the past couple of years in anticipation of starting the presidency on July 1st. And it is an honor and a privilege to be able to serve as our international president, and certainly to step into this role in our organization's 117-year history as our first female president. I certainly don't spend a lot of time actively talking about that perspective, but what I do think it's important is to acknowledge it, because it allows an opportunity for me to talk about diverse perspective and the strength in our organization that exists when we bring together people of differing minds and differing opinions and differing thoughts and cultures. And gender is a part of that. And I like to say that in terms of raising the bar on the number of women in our organization, we're all business people. And if we saw an underperforming market share in our businesses, we would do something to solve that. And right now we know that the global population of our world is 50% men and 50% women. And so we have a business case for why we want to attract more women into our organization. But we want people of excellence. We want people, as I said earlier, people of influence, people of purpose. And so an opportunity for me to shed light on that in a way where conversation can be held is incredibly important to me. And it gives an opportunity in a growing area of our world. And that's one of the best impressions that I have, certainly arriving on the African continent. This is one of the fastest growing areas of Rotary in our world, and that's because there are incredible leaders here. And we have so much opportunity to tap fellow leaders in our community who are able to open doors like any others. We exist without borders and boundaries in our organization, and we note this by looking at the district that we exist in here, 2 countries. We don't look at it with a border between us. Similarly, with the rest of the world, we don't look at borders and boundaries either. We look at each other as leaders in our organization, able to take us forward in a positive kind of way. Why Uganda, to your second question? Because of the Impact Tour and because of the first peace center on the African nation to be put into the Makerere Center, to be able to come here and to learn, most importantly, to learn about the center, to learn about the teachers, and to learn about the fellows, the Peace Fellows, who've been selected, who have been educated through this program, and to elevate the eye line to the rest of the world about this program. The main reason for the Impact Tour is for us to be able to bring along top-tier media, social media influencers, and other notables to help us showcase our stories to an external audience. And we talk really well sometimes internally to ourselves. We know a lot of what we're doing. But how many of you have heard the question asked, what is Rotary? Well, this Impact Tour is an opportunity for us to try and have external media tell our stories, to help us tell our stories about the good things that we're doing so that more people know who we are. Perhaps because they want to join, but perhaps because they want to partner with us, they want to support us, they want to be a friend in many of our different endeavors. But then for our members to be able to hear these stories being told, I think it creates for many of us a sense of pride, knowing that we belong to something that's doing so much good in the world. So thank you very much for the question. I appreciate both of the questions very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our Prime President. And one of the big activities you find here is the launch of the village ambulances. And I want to invite everybody here to come on Saturday morning, because that's when our RI President will be launching that visionary project. Uganda has a mortality rate of about close to 400 mothers every year. And we thought that as Rotarians, this should be the time when we focus on maternal child health a little bit more and create impact here. So as District 9214, we dedicated this Rotary year to mothers. And the decision we took was to mobilize from our colleagues here to procure about 300 village ambulances, tricycle. And the common name we have here is tuk-tuk. You will listen more tuk-tuk very frequently. So we also thought that it would be important to look at our health sector, especially in the developing world. And we took a decision that we shall get more resources to equip our health centers. We want to focus on reducing referral. And that's the project we are talking about. And we are sure that come Saturday, you'll see things that have been done in an impactful way by visionary leaders. Thank you so much.
Where's Nick?
Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of the National Parliament of Uganda, Honorable Thomas Taiwa, President of Rotary International, Jennifer Jones, and your very great partner, Rotarian Nick Raji, fellow leaders of Rotary, all of you, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon is a very privileged afternoon because as our President of Rotary International lands into our country, we're honored that out of 45 million Ugandans, citizen number 4 can spare time to come and pay a courtesy call to our President. Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, we do not take this for granted, but we're also very conscious that you are a very committed humanitarian in your political work, but also as a Rotarian.
Thank you for your kind words. My mentor, the person who inspires me most. In Africa, we have a belief that whatever you do, you have someone to learn from. We've learned a lot from Rotarian Katomboy Mane, who has served beyond his call for duty. And you are an example, living example at the truth. We are a country where Rotary is growing. We are a country where Rotary is growing, and the spirit of giving. You know, the spirit of giving, especially from the Americans, is a very, very strong spirit, a very deep spirit. And I'm glad to see that my fellow Ugandans have known that it's not about only you being successful, but you can only succeed if people around you and those not even known to you are succeeding. from the business perspective, the see doing business and you know every customer of yours, you know that your business is not sustainable. You must do a business where you don't even know who buys your product. So when you help others to grow, when you help others to grow, you're planting the seed. You're planting the seed, a seed which is going to transform the rest of the communities. I'm glad Chairman Kadongore guided me very well to make a donation to the Peace Center at Makerere University. And I'm glad it was Peace Center. Because we believe without peace, we can't do much. Welcome to Uganda. I can only pledge that one, I'm going to give more. I'm inspired to give much. Because with Rotary, you know that every coin you give counts. Number two, I pledge I'm going to join you in Melbourne in May. I hope it doesn't go beyond 1 week. Otherwise, I would be in trouble. But at least I can save off like 1 week and be in Melbourne. But above all, me as a person, I can't contribute much. I'm only going to ensure that I mobilize more of my colleagues, whom I know that they do have even the capacity to give much more than I can give, to join Rotary and support the Rotary mission. Enjoy your time in Uganda. I hope everything will find its favor. I thank you.
Thank you very much, and good Rotary Day to all of you who are here. So many wonderful faces to be able to see as we arrived at the hotel today, all of your smiling faces, friends from far and wide. To the Honorable Deputy Speaker, we had an opportunity to meet for about 10 minutes before we came down here to the room. We had a chance to just have a brief meet and greet, and it's amazing how quickly you can become friends. And yes, it's true. And very quickly, he not only shared with me that he was very excited to be going to the Melbourne Convention, but when I presented him with a theme tie, which I'm so pleased to see the entire diocese is wearing, that not only did he accept it with glee, he took off his tie right away and had his colleagues and friends help him to put it on. So I told him he will be properly attired when he arrives in Melbourne, along with the rest of our friends there. The other thing that happened very quickly was he was able to share with me his trip to Canada, and that we both happened to be in Ottawa, our nation's capital, on the same day, on Canada Day, when we were there earlier this year together. So we feel very welcomed to your home, just as I hope you felt equally as welcomed to ours. To all of you who are here, we'll have a chance to have much more time to be able to speak together. And briefly, I did want to share just a little bit about the reason for our being in the country, and it is part of the Rotary Imagine Impact Tour. And so right now, to the Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are here because of exactly what you just talked about, the pillars of peace. Everything that we do in our organization, all of the areas of focus lead towards building a peace-filled world. And I believe profoundly that peace is not the absence of war, it's the absence of want. And for people not wanting for the things that can help create stability in their lives, where, as you say, children can be educated, people can have clean water, where we have roofs over our house, heads and medicines for our mouths. So today, to be able to celebrate your incredible contribution with you is incredibly meaningful, and I know that you have a very busy schedule. You need to get to the airport, and so, my friends, we will have much more time to spend together, but I think right now the most important thing we can do is acknowledge the incredible generosity of our friend and to come forward and begin the ending ceremony if I may direct him in that direction.
Sports. In 2015-2016 Rotary year, the Executive Committee of Rotary in Uganda took a decision to form Rotary Uganda as a vehicle through which clubs would interface with corporate Uganda on projects and interventions with a national appeal. Rotary Uganda Limited therefore provides oversight on behalf of Rotary clubs in Uganda and is the holding company through which all Rotary programs such as the Cancer Run, Rotary Family Health Days, the Blood Bank, Rotary Mission Green, among others, operate with the mandate to offer accountability to Rotary clubs in Uganda through routine annual general meetings. Rotary Uganda Limited leadership comprises of the board, which brings together leaders of Rotary Uganda and an executive leadership that does the day-to-day work for clubs in Uganda. And at this juncture, I would like to request all the board members to stand up for recognition. All the board members of Rotary Uganda Limited to stand up for recognition. So that is the composition, and at an appropriate time, probably individual introductions will be made. Whereas it's true that the challenges that face our communities, such as disease, ignorance, lack of access to water, climate change, poverty, and others continue to remain evident in our communities, it is also true that these challenges provide us with opportunities to offer resilience and unity by showing commitment towards changing this status quo for the sake of the next generation. In today's modern era, it is no longer sustainable to do business with little or less regard to sustainable peace, which is equally critical to the business sustainability. It is therefore our role as Rotarians and the role of corporate Uganda to contribute to sustainable peace by increasing access to basic services and providing economic opportunities to the young people who hold the future of our societies. As Rotary, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. We therefore believe that with joint partnerships like the ones we have with these corporates in Uganda, it is possible to collectively think together and mobilize resources together to tackle the fundamental problems that continue to affect our communities, to bring fundamental solutions in the communities that we live in. It is our belief that this breakfast meeting will enable us as Rotary Uganda and Corporate Uganda to begin walking this journey jointly. Once again, you are very welcome, everybody, and please enjoy the breakfast. Thank you very much.
We do not actually inherit the world from our ancestors. Instead, we borrow it from our children. Therefore, there is a need for us to work together, corporate world and Rotary. Why? Rotary is about humanity. Rotary is a very big organization that prioritizes humanity. There is a colleague of mine here, well, it's not my colleague because he's a governor of Rotary and I've never been one. There is a governor here called Emmanuel Katongole. He has got a very interesting saying that when God blesses you with money, don't necessarily increase your standard of living, but increase the standard of your giving. And that is exactly, for him, he's a corporate leader too, just like myself. I was introduced as the chairman of CEO Summit. I'm also chairman of NSSF. That's the largest fund in East Africa, bringing together very many other people in society. What is this partnership about? This partnership is recognition that we need to build a comprehensive and cohesive framework that will catalyze a lot of stuff that is in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Rotary is about sustainability, and that's what the United Nations say. We in the corporate world have moved away from corporate social responsibility to what we call shared value, long-term embrace and commitment, and going beyond the commitment by actions that are credible and verifiable. So the relationship that we are building with Rotary Uganda is going to be sustainable. It's not a handshake, it's an embrace. It's a commitment. It's going beyond just a mere aspiration. We have to make it reality by improving the livelihoods and also saving lives. Rotary does not only show up, they follow up. Rotary does not only save lives, we build ecosystems that support lives. So our coming together this morning is demonstration of commitment to achieving results that are verifiable. We are committed to creating opportunities. We are committed to impacting communities and transforming their lives. And that's where the world is going. 90% of the 514 companies in the world have all subscribed to what you call United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So it's now kind of strange for an organization or a company to do what you call piecemeal contribution. No, we are building a real framework that will ensure that we create bridges, we create a blessing, and we are together in this. So together, we believe we can achieve more. Together, we believe we can extend the frontiers of our moral universe, all of us together. I thank you very much, Madam President RI, for gracing us with this visit. You are delivering one message to all of us in the business and industry, that mankind exists to support others. And if you can't support others, don't harass them, but move on. I thank you very much. Members who have been able to make it, the corporates who are online, I welcome you and I thank you very much for sparing time to be with us here to defend our call to being human beings. If you have lived any single day without doing anything for anyone, without expecting anything in return, you have not lived. If your life in any way does not create other forms of life, then you have no reason to exist. Thank you, President.
I read somewhere that our RI president is a doctor of laws, but because she's so trusting of Rotarians, she's signing a document without having read it. Thank you for trusting us.
My honor and pleasure to introduce our very special Rotary International President, Jennifer Jones. She is the president and the first woman to be selected in the 117 years history of the organization. Jennifer Jones is the founder and president of Media Services Production, a 27-year-old award-winning media company in Windsor, Ontario. So she was president before now. Jones holds a Doctor of Laws and was chair of the Board of Governors of the University of Windsor and chair of the Windsor Essex Regional Chamber of Commerce. She's a member of the Rotary Club of Windsor, Roseland, since 1997. Jennifer has served Rotary in several capacities, including Rotary International Vice President, Director, Trustee of the Rotary Foundation, and co-chair of the End Polio Now Countdown to History Campaign Committee. Jennifer is a leader in cultivating experiential fundraising opportunities, such as a day of golfing with Rotary Polio Ambassador Jack Nicklaus in Jupiter, Florida, USA, that raised over $5 to $25 million for polio eradication. She also led the innovative #Rotary Response virtual event in May 2020, which raised for COVID-19 relief projects and showcased how Rotary members were responding to the pandemic around the world. Working alongside political figures, celebrities, and global leaders, Jennifer has raised awareness and hundreds of millions of dollars to eradicate disease, support peace, provide clean water and sanitation. An expert storyteller, and don't we know all that? Don't we agree? An expert storyteller, she inspires hope and promise and motivates people to take action. She has been recognized for her service and is the recipient of Rotary International Service Above Self Award, the Rotary Foundation Citation for Meritorious Service, the YMCA Peace Medal, and the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. Can we clap for that? She was also the first Canadian to receive the Wayne State University Community Peacemaker Award. Jennifer is married to Nick K, a Rotarian and family physician. They share a love for travel, cycling, golf, and relaxing at their family cottage, in addition to adventures such as climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Jennifer and Nick support the Rotary Foundation as members of the Archclamp Society, Paul Harris Society, and the Bequest Society. For ladies in the room, we know what it takes to become president. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure, Jennifer Jones.
Good morning to you all. What a joy, an honor, and a privilege it is to be here, and thank you so much for the very kind introduction. I have to tell you, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect this morning, and everything has so wildly surpassed my expectations. To learn of the CEO Summit, to learn of Uganda, the incorporation of Rotary Uganda, to hear of corporates coming together to make our world a better place. This is the best of governance, and that's the earlier comments that were made about good governance. This is what it is all about. It is not surprising to me to understand that the best practices that I have seen from a global perspective of good governance are coming out of a country where the late Sam Awori, a good friend to so many of us, was such a leader in corporate governance. Sitting outside of my office in the headquarters of Rotary International is a plaque in his honor stating the principles of good governance, and to see them come to life today, to see the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding of aligning behind our areas of focus, that we as an organization directly align with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This is how we row in the same direction. This is how we make the priorities of our planet something that we can all work together on. This is good business, plain and simple. Our areas of focus are good business. They are the ways that we are raising up our communities, our world. I want to share with you part of the reason why we are in country today, aside from being with all of the wonderful Rotarians who are here. The presidential year I have framed around our areas of focus because I too believe that ensuring the rest of the world knows what we are doing helps us to create partnerships, to leverage each other in terms of corporates and government and civil society. This is the right combination for ensuring that we can make lasting change in our world, and as we heard, we don't have a planet B. To align behind our areas of focus, we created what we're calling the Impact Tour, the Imagine Impact Tour. You see behind here the Imagine Rotary logo. For the corporates in the room who are unfamiliar with what that is, it's the presidential theme for this year. And Imagine is a term that is important to me because it gives us that opportunity to dream of the things that we can do, but then to use our relationships with each other, to leverage the relationships that we have to create lasting change, to create impact, and use sustainability as our driving model and principle. So creating this Imagine Impact Tour is aligned with the 7 areas of focus of our organization, which have now been aligned in the MOU, which you saw signed here today. we are going to 7 international locations to raise the global eye line of what it is that we do. And we've added 1 additional stop to make it 8 to focus on our international corporate priority of polio eradication. And so the entire reason behind this tour is to showcase the incredible large-scale sustainable projects that our Rotary family is doing across the globe. And in doing so, we are bringing with us top-tier media, social media influencers, notables, to help us tell those stories to people who don't know about Rotary. I think in this room, we see people who understand what we do, but there are so many folks around the world who, when you ask the question, what is Rotary, they don't know. And the more that we can raise the eye line of what we do, the easier it is to reach out to other corporates in other parts of the world to say, this is a way to do responsible business in your community and in your world. Corporate social responsibility, those aren't just buzzwords. And I love what was said earlier about creating the principle of profiting your business, but profiting your community at the same time. And so on this tour, we are taking 8 stops, as I said. And let me briefly go through each of them so that you can understand the incredible work that our family is doing across the globe. Our first stop was a couple of weeks ago in Pakistan. That is one of 2 remaining endemic countries in our world for polio. We know, you know well, that polio, while only 20 cases in 2 endemic countries year to date, we have seen cases that have arisen in Mozambique and Malawi, places that are very, very close to where we are. 2 years ago this month, we were able to take the African continent off of the endemic list when Nigeria was able to get rid of the last remaining cases that were there. That was a day of incredible celebration for this nation. The cases that have come up in Malawi and Mozambique, while they are the wild polio virus, we know their origin. It's not an outbreak. We know that they came directly from cases in Pakistan. So knowing that means we can contain it and that it doesn't have to spread past that area. We've also seen cases come up in New York and in the United Kingdom. What this tells us is that our job is far from done, but we've never been closer to crossing the finish line. And my friends, we have a target of end of transmission of wild polio virus by the end of 2023. And I can tell you, having just been in Pakistan, we are on track. We met with the government, yes. We met with the government officials there, the health minister, the generals of the army. More than 65,000 troops have been deployed this month to do national immunization days, along with our Rotary members and others, community health workers. This is the reason that we went in country, because we have frontline female health workers that are the key to making sure, using mum to mum, to build trust, going door to door, making sure that they will take immunizations, that they will take vaccinations. These women put their lives in jeopardy. Many of them have been assassinated in years gone by. I went with one primary function, to sit with them and to offer 2 very, very important words. Thank you. Thank you for what it is that they're doing. The model of community health workers has now been transmitted into the next stop that we took on the tour, and that was last week into the country of Zambia, where we are looking to eliminate the cases of malaria by 90% in that country. Now, this is another example of partnership, of doing good business. This partnership between Rotary, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and World Vision, where we each put $2 million into a pot for a $6 million pot to fund community health workers, to bring health services to the people, as opposed to them having to go walking days sometimes to receive health care. Children under the age of 5 in that country, that is the #1 leading killer, malaria, of those children. It's also an incredibly challenging disease for pregnant women and so many others. There's not a person we met in the country who told us that they hadn't already had malaria themselves, if not multiple times. So we know that this investment, bringing health to people in their community, building trust with these health workers, is incredibly important. So that's a model that once we perfect it in this pilot, we know that it can be replicated in other countries. And we know that it means something across this continent to ensure that malaria stops killing our citizens. This is good business. The next stop in this tour is here. And that's because, excuse me, we have the Makerere Peace Center. For those of you who are not familiar with Rotary's relationship, we embarked on a relationship with Makerere very recently, uplifting it as the first peace center in the African nation in our centers across the globe. This is building the next generation of peacemakers, and truly that is a way that we are going to have a sustainable, safe world as we continue to focus on all of the areas of focus. I think that when we look at clean water, sanitation, literacy, education, health, disease prevention, none of these can operate in independence, but when they work in collaboration with each other, that's how we create peace. And putting these fellows out into the world with Rotary's integrity, Rotary's principles, is going to help us change our planet as well. From here, we will celebrate the Peace Center. We're going to have a wonderful opportunity to do that. We're going to travel into the field to be able to see some of the Peace Fellows in action, seeing what it is that they've done and what they can translate into changing our community and our world. We're going into the South Pacific Islands, where the Australian and New Zealand Rotarians are immunizing over 100,000 children for HPV, pneumonia, and rotavirus. We're going into Taiwan to look at community and economic development and how they're taking in rural areas and changing the way that farming is done and creating better sustainability with a new approach. We're going to be looking at the development of farms for chestnut trees and truffles, where it takes far less work and lower impact to create higher yield and higher volume. Again, this is just good business. In Haiti, clean water and sanitation is what we're going to be focusing on. Providing clean water and sanitation to every man, woman, and child in that nation. This is not an easy proposition, and it's going to cost billions of dollars, and it's not going to be happening overnight. But when everyone has access to clean water and sanitation, that is just good business. We're going to look at basic education and literacy in Guatemala and the education of particularly girl children, but boys as well, knowing that an educated child is able to become an educated leader in the community. And in that part of the world, hopefully they will find economic opportunity in their own community, in their own country. And the final leg that we're going to be looking at is our newest area of focus, the environment. Again, treating our planet well is just good business. We're going to be looking at pollinators, the butterflies and the bees, and what they mean to the ecosystem and the protection of our planet moving forward. So as you can see, we mean business when we talk about our areas of focus, our alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals, and now the MOU signed here, one of the best practices, as I say, that I have ever seen across the Rotary world. This is something that I will be talking about everywhere I go. And I'm so glad to have taken a copy. And yes, I did not have a chance to read it before I signed it. However, I have read it, and it's brilliant. And so being able to share that story, to learn from each other, to learn the best practices of what we do, that's the reason for being able to have breakfast like this today, partnerships like we have, and the development of relationships that literally have the opportunity to change our world in such a positive way. So I started by telling you about our trip to Pakistan and the incredible, powerful words that I wanted to share with those frontline female health workers. I want to close today by using those very same two words to each and every one of you, because thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your leadership, for your vision, your tenacity, and for understanding that you each, through your own organizations and corporations, truly can make a difference. And our partnership with you couldn't be something more worth celebrating
So thank you. Today with us we have CIPLA QCI. We have Centenary Bank. We have Matt Abacus. Matt Abacus sponsored today with a platinum. Thank you. Uganda Development Bank, another platinum sponsor for this event. We have Stanbic Bank. And we have Absa Bank. The money people did it today. We have Pride Microfinance. Absa Bank. Finance Trust Bank. And the list will not be complete without protection. We have Jubilee Alliance. In insurance. Vision Group. Vision Group. We have API Technical Services. Yeah. We have DSTV, API Technical Services coming up. We have DSTV, MTN Uganda, MTN Uganda, we are just going to read the rest. We have Tanda Pay Uganda. We have National Social Security Fund, NSSF, MasterCard Foundation, NSSF, Tanda Pay, the Parliament of Uganda. We have Citibank, USAID, UEGCL, IRID. We have New Vision as a paper, the Microfinance Support Center, Uganda Breweries Limited, CIC General Insurance, Radio Maria, Unilever, Steel and Tube Industries.
Our guest, Rotary International President Jennifer Jones, your husband, the entire Rotary fraternity, district governor, past district governors, every Rotarian here, the Zambia Hospital staff, fellow Ugandans, good morning to you all. It's our pleasure to receive you here at Nsambia Hospital. That's the short name of the hospital, but the long name is St. Francis Hospital Nsambia, but the locals will call us Nsambia Hospital. This is a hospital that's about 120 years, belonging to the Catholic Church. In the past, we were a general hospital. General hospital was dealing with the basics, but public and need drove us to go into multi-specialty. And onto the theme here, cancer care is multi-specialty. We've delved into cancer care. In Uganda, the fight against cancer, so far, cancer seems to have the upper hand. We're getting late presentations, lots of deaths coming from cancer. I speak right now, my elder brother is admitted here with cancer, okay? And it's that everywhere. I mean, this is somebody close to a doctor. You would expect that we have a way of beating it. So far, no. But when I look at this army lined up here, I'm sure cancer is right now afraid. So we one day are going to kick cancer out of Uganda just as we kicked polio out of Uganda. And so with the determination, your coming here is to fire up these people, is to energize. What you've seen is the cancer unit behind here that many people are grateful for. The country has a cancer program, which is the Uganda Cancer Institute. It's right now overwhelmed by the numbers of people, the need that is there. And so Rotary found it important that to contribute to the fight against cancer. And in that way, a ward was started as sort of a landmark. This ward represents the screening program. So we do go to the communities to screen. Then when we find any cancers, they will be treated here. Those that are beyond care, immediate care, will get palliative care. And what was missing then was the radiotherapy. And again, Rotary stood up and said, you know, by faith, because the project costs quite a lot, we shall start the radiotherapy bankers. Let's put this as a drop in the ocean. The need for cancer still remains huge in the country. But this is a sign of hope for those that are involved in the fight against cancer, the doctors, the patients, the families, the carers. And so we stand here to thank the Rotary Fraternity in Uganda, the Rotary International Fraternity, for standing against cancer. And we know that one day we shall win. On Sunday, you will flag off runners and let them know that the work that is happening here is changing the lives of many, one at a time. I welcome you all to Nsambia Hospital, and God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for us as Ugandans, specifically Ugandan Rotarians, to have you, President Jennifer. But more so to visit many of our key projects, especially the Nsambia Cancer Center. The dream we conceived in 2011 still lives on. Cancer remains top killer. Globally, cancer kills more people than HIV, AIDS, malaria, and TB put together. And in Uganda, we have over 33 new cases every year, of which 33,000, of which 22,000 actually die. That's how bad it is. For a population of just over 40 million people, it's really shocking. The reason they die in those numbers is because they present themselves late. Normally, cancer at stage 4, and you can't do much. So as Rotarians, when we learned about this way back in 2010-11, we thought Rotarians are people of action. It's not enough to lament about cancer, you know. So we took action, and we said we must take on this scourge of cancer. And that time, we set up the Uganda Cancer Program, and we decided to start on this journey. Here, I have to thank Nsambia Hospital because we came here and they gave us a free piece of land. I have to thank the corporates that we have. We couldn't have done what we've done today without the corporates. So the journey started in 2011 and led by Centenary Bank, who had the leap of faith you've heard about, and I want to recognize the CEO of Centenary Bank, just seated behind you, President. Fabian, if you may stand up and wave to the people. And many of those corporates, this job was done. Now, as a cancer program, we stand on 4 pillars. The first pillar is creating awareness. So together with partners like Nsambia Hospital, Cancer Institute, and others, we go all over the country and create awareness about cancer. The second pillar is offering free screening services and thereafter referrals to partner hospitals. The third pillar is the construction. You've seen the word that we have now. We've also gone to the site of what you are planning to do over the next 5 years. And the final pillar is human capital. No matter how good the machines you may have, without the right brains behind those machines, you're wasting your time. So President Jennifer, you may be happy to learn that already the equipment that you've seen on the ward here was a result of 3 global grants. And the same global grants had a component of vocational training teams. We've had 3 inward and 3 outward teams to India and the US. Now the team here is being trained continuously. By the time we get the linear accelerators, we should be in the next 4 years, we are going to have about the best brains here in the treatment of cancer. Our dream is to have a cancer center of excellence, not just for Uganda, but for the region. We believe it's going to happen. Thank you. Main fundraising vehicle is the Cancer Run, and I'm glad you'll be participating on Sunday, where we have over 40,000 people running, not just in Kampala here, but in every corner of the country. We know that this is not easy, it's very expensive. And therefore, our appeal to you, President, and all the international friends who came along with you, is to work with us. We want to exchange contacts. We need partners. We can't win this war alone. The Cancer Run has been growing on its own, and out of COVID, for those 2 years, it became global. Now we use the Cancer Run not just to get money to support us on this, but also to grow the brand of Rotary in this country. No wonder Rotary is growing this fast, because people get aware, and the run happens everywhere in the country. Now, as I wrap up, allow me to request my team just to stand up over there, members of the board and members of the Board of Trustees and Management Board, if you may just stand up and wave.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. DRI President, all protocol observed. As you know, Centenary Bank represents the corporates that believe in the concept of shared value, that believe in the concept of giving back to the communities where we operate, that believes that it is not only about making money, but ensuring that the people we deal with are transformed. And that's why we had to partner with Rotary in these initiatives. We've been doing and sponsoring Cancer Run for the last 11 years. We've participated in over 200 cancer parades. We've sponsored family days, over 250 of them since then. And we use all our over 80 branches to do work for Rotary. Now all these kits are being sold in those branches. And all our over 3,000 staff participate in the activities of Rotary. We are therefore very happy to be part of this, and we always pledge to continue working with Rotary in Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And what an honor and privilege it is to be here today and to be able to tour the work site and to be able to see the renderings for the Rotary Cancer Center. For those of you who are not able to see around the corner, when you get up, what you're going to see is a building that is much more than a building. It is a sign of hope. And for people to be able to see the brand, as you have explained, the brand for Rotary is already strong. And I'm going to give you a proof point. The international delegation, we just had an opportunity to go in and see the chemotherapy ward and to walk into the hospital. As we were exiting, I asked if there was any breast cancer patients in the chemo center having treatment this morning. I was introduced to Sama Lee. I went in quickly to talk with her. And what I wanted to share with her was that 12 years ago, I was walking in her shoes as well, going through treatment for breast cancer. I explained to her that I had 8 rounds of chemotherapy, 21 rounds of radiation. I was able to tell her that right now, 12 years later, I'm able to be here and that having hope is so important. And I remember when other people said to me, I'm 10 years cancer-free. I'm 5 years cancer-free. I'm 20 years. I'm 30 years. It meant something to me because it meant that hope was alive. And for our patients that are being treated here, when they see this, the Rotary brand is well alive because the young man sitting next to her, who I suppose was her son, said, thank you, Rotary. He knew, without having to explain, that Rotary was here. To the corporates who are supporting this, you are helping to bring
such hope to this community. We are so, so grateful for what it is that you do. This is a building full of angels, and I remember feeling the exact same way when I met people that were helping me through that. These are angels, angels walking on earth. And to all of you who work here, all of you who are supporting this, all of you who are on the board, you are all angels too. Thank you for what it is that you are doing for your community, your region, your country. This is incredible work. I will tell you, I have brought my running shoes and I am looking forward to putting them on Sunday morning. And I think all of my colleagues and friends that, who are here are very much looking forward to the same thing. And we will walk in solidarity with all of you to make sure that we raise awareness that cancer is treatable, that not only is there a center of hope, but early detection is the key. And we need to make sure that that message gets out loud and clear. So thank you for involving us in this today. Doctor, I would like to tell you that we will keep your brother in our thoughts, in our prayers, and I know collectively we will raise him up, and hopefully treatment will be very, very.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister, what a great moment you've given us that our President of Rotary International visits and you get the time to meet with her, together with her dear spouse. I talked to you, you told me the kind of program you had today, but you have taken off that time. That shows programmatic leadership. Thank you. We have two district governors here. Honorable Mike Sebalu, you know him, he's sat in Parliament with you. He's district governor of part of Uganda.
District governor?
Yes.
Big deal.
The only difference is that the president of a club is smaller than a district governor. But President of Rotary International is our global leader.
Yes.
But we have our next district governor is Peace Talemo. He takes part of Uganda and the whole of Tanzania.
Oh.
This time we brought two leaders from Rotary International, Bring Styles. He served as a director, served as a trustee to the Rotary Foundation. And David Gibson Moore is a member of my committee at Rotary International that heads the Middle East and does a lot of work for Rotary. We have, the young ones are called Rotaractors. She's like the governor of young people, Sarah Wemalazi, together with Francis Matovu.
Welcome.
And Rosette Nabumba is the first woman district governor in Uganda.
Oh.
Then Henry Gamba. Then we have an assistant governor, Mercy Kanyowish. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Prime Minister. I salute you for the good work that you do for this nation and the opportunity you've given us to interface with you as we receive our Rotary International President. Right Honorable Speaker, before you is our amazing Lady of Honor and Purpose, who has served Rotary with honor, dignity, and decorum, earning herself the first opportunity to serve in the highest office of Rotary International as a Lady President in the history of our organization that is 117 years. She has broken the glass ceiling and we celebrate her. And for that matter, we celebrate her. the fact that she's been able to consider Uganda for a visit during her Imagine Impact tour and in her first quarter of tour of duty as a president is indeed something good to write home about for our country, and we appreciate her for that. The lady before you is by the names of Jennifer Jones, and she's a founder and president of Media Street Productions, so she's a great global media personality. And the organization she presides over is a 25-year-old award-winning organization of international repute, which is based in Windsor, Ontario. She is a proud member of the Rotary Club of Windsor, Roseland, and she is highly talented communication expert and has been able to reach out and create tremendous impact through the many roles that she's been able to undertake in her Rotary life, that include, among others, trustee of the Rotary Foundation, vice president of Rotary International, and co-chair of the End Polio Now, Make History Today campaign that raised funds through Bill and Melinda Gates. And that was quite a big fundraising drive that is of unprecedented records. Jennifer is a leader in cultivating experimental fundraising opportunities such as the Rotary Polio Golf Day with Jack that was able to raise over $5.2 million in just a single day. That is the lady we are hosting today. And when it came to COVID again, she was able to come up with a response event that raised over $5 million again. And again, that is an event of the day. She is special in working with the different interest groups. And among those are politicians like yourself, political figures, celebrities, global leaders, and she uses her voice to raise awareness and hundreds of millions of dollars to eradicate disease, support peace, provide clean water and sanitation in developing areas of the world. And our country is no exception in that regard. Her skills as an expert storyteller and excellent communicator has inspired hope in many and created promise to people across the world. Right Honorable, she is an award-winning lady of international repute, having won the Service Above Self Award of Rotary and the Citation of Meritorious Service and the YMCA Peace Medallion, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal, and Wayne State University Peacemaker of the Year Award, the first ever Canadian to win such a great recognition globally. She is a Rotarian married to her beloved Nick, and they are here to see what happens in Uganda. Madam Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to, Madam Right Honorable Prime Minister, you know, being a legislator, it has never disappeared. Still so, but my apologies for that. Madam Right Honorable Prime Minister, I wish to formally and officially present to you your guest by the names of Jennifer Jones, together with her beloved spouse, Nick. Over to you.
Allow me to welcome you, our dear guest, Madam Jennifer Jones, the President of Rotary International. My brother is the Minister, the Government Chief of this country, the Minister for Northern Uganda, and all of you present. Join me in welcoming our visitor. Madam, you are welcome to Uganda. Uganda is a peaceful country with loving people. We love people, and therefore we have come to a place which is peaceful. I want to congratulate you, first and foremost, for being elected in that big office and being the first woman to be in that big office. Like I did, I'm the first woman to be in this office in this country. I want to thank you for breaking that record. In many ways, ladies and gentlemen, we share responsibility. As you may be aware, or you may have been told, that Uganda is one country that is gender sensitive. We have the Prime Minister, the Vice President is a woman, the Speaker is a woman, to mention but a few. So for us, the country is aware that females can also do some work.
We just had a chance to visit the construction of the new Rotary Cancer Center that is going to be built, and it is remarkable the progress that's already been being made there, and the huge difference that's going to be making in tackling cancer, certainly in the country, and I know the region beyond is what they're suggesting as well. I have the privilege to be able to be here on behalf of 1.4 million Rotarians from all over the world, more than 200 countries and geographical areas, and some of the best and the brightest are sitting in this room and in this country. This morning I had a chance to meet with many different corporates, and the memorandum of understanding that was signed between them and Rotary here in Uganda, pledging to support what we call the areas of focus. And our areas of focus as an organization align hand in glove with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So everything from clean water and sanitation to disease prevention, peace, the reason why I'm here, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second, basic education and literacy, disease prevention and treatment. These are the things that we do to make sure that our world can be a stronger place for everyone to live their very, very best lives. And so corporations here in this community stepping up to be aligned to help our Rotary family do their work. This is unprecedented, like nothing I've seen in any other part of the world. And so I want to share with you that the leadership here is outstanding and really breaking ground in terms of the way we can all do the best we can for the citizens of our countries and of our world. So this is remarkable, and I've seen the best of the best today. Yes, absolutely. The reason for us arriving here is that I've created what's called the Imagine Impact Tour. And so those areas of focus that I just mentioned on, we're taking an opportunity to visit 8 different locations in the world that each one of them focuses on a different area of focus. And coming here, we have the first ever Peace Center located on the African continent at the Makerere University. And so being able to meet tomorrow with the administrators, the teachers, professors, students, and to learn more about what is happening at this center and how it is creating peace fellows who are going out into our world from all over the world to be able to be instilled with Rotary values of integrity and goodness and kindness and leading our world in that kind of way. Our Peace Fellows go on to be members of government, members of the media, and many, many different vocations. And so we're very proud of that accomplishment and what that means to this country and our world beyond. So allow me to stop with that, but I want to ask a question, if I may, of what you were talking about. The refugee population that's coming into the country, where is that primarily from, and where are they currently settled?
Of course, they come from our neighboring countries. We have DRC, Congo, we have South Sudan, and Somalia. They come here seeking for peace and security, because there are areas where they come from are not secure. There is war, and Uganda is known for helping people. The support we get from our developing partners are dwindling because of Ukraine. But we want to request that Uganda continues to be helping these people. We are still overstretched, so we still need support in that regard. in order for us to help our brothers and sisters who come here running for safety.
Yeah. Everyone deserves a peaceful world.
You saw how they were running from Ukraine.
Yes.
So that's how we welcome them here. So those partners who used to help us, their support is dwindling. Therefore, we are looking for being assistance. Now that you are a champion, if you can help us,
Well, thank you for your leadership in that capacity, and thank you for your leadership and support of our organization and the many different partnerships that we have between government and between our organization, and opportunities like you just referenced for us to be able to dig into some very timely and topical concerns and conflicts that need critical attention. Those aren't issues for tomorrow, they're issues for today, and those people that you've just mentioned certainly need all the support we can get at this.